this effigy of a serpent. First of all, I want you to address that. Why do you think it's not the Shawnee?
Well, originally the Shawnee said they never built this.
Right.
And so this acquisition is more modern day, but didn't really have serpents in their iconography of religion. We're never really known to be mound builders, so it's a mystery.
I can send you the quote from Chief Wallace of the Shawnee tribe saying they did not build these mounds. See, what's happening now is that with the implementation of NAGPRA, which is good, the Native American Grave Repatriation Act, and that's, if you find skeletons, if you find remains, if you find artifact, or whatever, that is protected by the federal government, and the tribe who's assigned to that region then takes custody of those items. The problem with that is that a lot of these mounds, the Native people didn't build. We didn't build them. Our ancestors didn't build them. So we are taking responsibility for something that we didn't make, and now the historical narrative is changing. Think about what better way to keep people from going into the mounds or finding, 7, 8, 9 foot tall skeletons than to have a standing force of Native Americans who are going to come and they're going to protest and they're going to stop anything like that from happening. But that's interesting that you said that, because I'll send this to you. I'll send you an article from Indian Country Today Media Network, which is the largest and oldest Native American news source in the country. They've been around for, I think, over 40 years. But Chief Wallace is quoted as saying that they did not build the mounds, that the Shawnee had nothing to do with the mound complex at Serpent Mound.
Chief Joseph Riverwind is a Taino peace chief. He is the author of That's What the Old Ones Say, which brings to life the oral tradition of Native Americans. He brings a unique perspective to this film as he presents stories that have been handed down through the centuries that seem to contradict the official narrative that we are all told must have taken place. That the Native Americans built the mounds but had forgotten that they had done so.
I want to kind of drill down on the idea of the solstices and the equinoxes. Did Native Americans know about them, number one? And if so, did they make edifices to mark them? Did they do anything like that?
The nomadic tribes did. They very much moved by the lunar calendar and also solar calendar. There was an agricultural calendar that was used, and they were very much aware of solstices and equinoxes. Obviously, they weren't called that back in those times. But to the level of sophistication that you find in the mound building civilizations, that took a level of intelligence and knowledge that, although some nomadic tribes had knowledge of the constellations, of the moon cycles, the sun cycles, and they based their migration patterns off of that. The only difference is we find these mound complexes that have exponential knowledge of the stars and the constellations, and then you've got the effigies that are made, the oral tradition of the Lenni Lenape, which are known as the Delaware. They say that the Allegheny, the giants, were the ones who built the Serpent Mound.
Fallen angels, as we know.
The oral tradition of the Lenni Lenape, which are known as the Delaware, they say that the Allegheny, the giants, were the ones who built the Serpent Mound.